Hello, hockey fans. My name is David. Thought I would start this video at 4:08 on the afternoon of Thursday, 12th of January, 2023, North American Eastern Time. Thought I would do, having some technical difficulty with the laptop that I have. So thought I would do instead is present the main, Twitter, the tweet thread I'm going to respond to. Okay, go to there. All right. Had a little bit of difficulty uploading it, but I thought I would do that there. So basically, the when it comes to Canadian teams, there was a segment a couple days ago with it earlier this week on the halfway point of the regular season. Claim made kind of about from the 47th to the 65th minute or so. Huge discussion with David Amber, a co-host of Monday Night Hockey on Sportsnet, one of the TV networks owned by TV and radio networks owned by Rogers. About his claims about which Canadian teams were likely to see playoff action. He claimed the Leafs and the Jets were near locks, which I agree with. I see more in that tweet, in that video tweet series. I also, Amber also claimed that the Alberta teams' odds of making the postseason would be nothing more than coin flips, which I also agree with, because of where the Alberta teams are in the standings. The Flames ahead of the Oilers, and the Oilers thankfully have should be thankful that their favorite team has a tiebreaker on regulation wins with the Blues, because the Blues beat the Flames anyway in any fashion. It's going to be tied up on points. The regulation wins will be that first tiebreaker, and the Oilers are going to win it. That's if the Oilers lose their upcoming game against the San Jose Sharks, was it? Just going to go to the game here. Alright, so I'm just going to sort out this and just alright, so what I'll do is just go the scoreboard. Just gonna do that there. Oops. Sorry, that. Just gonna. Oops, sorry about that. Thought it would be simpler, but apparently it's not. I'll have to move the whole thing, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Alright, so. Don't do that, phone. Stay up. Sorry with that. Alright, I'm going to get the pen here. Alright. Don't you do that, pen. Stay up. Stay up. Don't create these problems for me. No. Stay up. Stay up. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to flip it around. Alright. Alright, close pages. Just give me a moment here. Alright, give me a moment. It's going to okay, let me get a moment here. Alright, it's gonna go to Gonna go to do. All right, you just No, no, no. Stay up. Stay up. Earphones, stay up. Now, do this here. After those are the games. There are going to be lots of games there. So the others don't play on Thursday, but on Friday they do. Just gonna sort that. Sorry for technical difficulties. It's just been great evening with objects falling and. All right, so I'm just gonna. All right. All right. So really what it comes down to is, yeah. All right, let's move to there. All right, so what I would do is when it comes to, all right, where was I here? So yeah, the Oilers had a big night on Wednesday, beating the Ducks 6-2. Let's gonna go to the Wednesday games here. There are relatively few of them. There are only 2 that feature Canadian teams. Thursday there'll be a huge number more. But now what I would do is go into a preview of what a future for the Leafs without Austin Matthews, a center drafted the first round by that team in 2016, may look like. We just have to look at the Predators, at the Preds. Struggling to beat UC Soros on Wednesday Eastern Time, even with, let's see here. Alright, just gonna look up, recap the game there. So, there, oops. When it comes to shots, the Leafs had shot 35 pucks at Soros, who had shut out the Sens in his previous start, and allowing 2 goals on 35 shots. Remarkable. The Leafs need to find more ways to get pucks past hot goalies, and with Matthews hurt and thus unavailable, I think that the future without Matthews could be very mixed. Putting up at most 2 goals is not a recipe for success. I'm going to do is I'm going to go see what the Leafs are at. Going to see what the Leaf season has been like when they've put up a maximum of 2 goals. Because under ideal circumstances, well, let's go to the Wikipedia article about the Leafs and how well they've done when they have scored not more than 2 goals following last preseason. So it's relatively easy to just go to the record versus opponents, and when it comes to when the Leafs have scored no more than 2 goals, beat the Bruins at home, lost to the Devils and Islanders at home in overtime, so 1-0-2. Not great, but certainly in regulation leads to not having lost a game when they've scored no more than 2 goals. But then we have our first regulation loss, 4-2 to the Pens. Leafs scored no more than that, so that's 1-1-2. 1-1-2-0. At the road on the road against the Rangers, so that's 1-2, 2-0. Respect to wins and regulation, overtime, and shootout losses. 1-3, 2-0. And then the Arizona Coyotes 1-4, 2-0. 2-4, 2-0. 2-5, 2-0. 2-6, 2-0. 2-7, 2-0. That's right. The Leafs have played in 11 games, during which they've earned 6 points. So yes, the Leafs have earned points in those games that during which they have scored not more than 2 goals. But even in games where they've scored 2 goals exactly, it's been a mixed bag. This is why it is very important for these Leafs to find ways to win when Matthews is out of the lineup. They barely did against the Preds. And let's face facts. Earlier on in the season, let's look at October. The Leafs struggled out of the gate. When they managed to score, in Game 4 of the regular season, the Leafs put up 2 goals to the Leafs 4, and to the Arizona Coyotes 4, and that was on home ice. Indeed, the first game the Leafs ended up during the regular season winning a game by at least 2 goals was away from home against Winnipeg Jets. But the Leafs would not win another game by at least 2 goals until November, after the road trip had been over. So the Leafs struggled then. And there was real concern after 10 points over 10 games where the Leafs would go. Would they get on a tear? Well, instead, the Oilers have been inconsistent about, kind of copying the Leafs' pace of October throughout the regular season. Alright, I'm just going to go to where are the Oilers here. Go to the Wikipedia article about the Oilers. And yeah, red hot October, 6-3 and 0-0. What happened to the Oilers? They kind of maintained, 3 games above NHL 500. So November, 14 points in that many games. December, end up earning, was it 14, 16, so 7, 6, and 2, so that's 15, 16 points over 15 games. Not great. And so far in January, it's been kind of hot and cold. I mean, an overtime loss to the Avs, but regulation losses to the Kraken and Kings, countered by wins in regulation over the Islanders and Ducks. And, on Friday, the Oilers will be facing the San Jose Sharks. Before on Saturday taking their show on the road to Vegas to face the Golden Knights. And let's see what happens, but yeah, the Leafs preview without Austin Matthews is not very good. And when it comes to the postseason, secondary scoring is a big reason why teams end up winning or losing their first round series. The Leafs' lack of secondary scoring has torpedoed their chances of winning in the postseason, under Dubas. So let's see about, alright, I'm going to go to the 2018-19 season. The first one with Dubas as GM. So what happened then? Alright, so we're going to go to... Where do we go? So, Leafs end up losing Game 7 of that series, scoring only 1 goal. 2020 playoff series against the Blue Jackets, the Leafs were shut out. 2021, Leafs were beaten 3-1 by the Habs. And last spring, the Leafs end up losing a close one, 2-1 to the Lightning, in regulation. Scoring only a goal at most has not been a recipe for success. It's been that same problem over and over and over again. What I would do is go to this So this is April of last year. It's a morning show on Toronto Sportsnet radio station, the Fan 590. So let me post the links a bit later. But in the meantime, you have these. And an audio response about the claim made by J.D. Bunkus, then a co-host of a morning show on that from Fan 590. That so much of the postseason had come down to what he claimed had been, quote, unquote, secondary scoring. And that in the postseason before that, when the Habs had shut Matthews and Marner mostly down, well, 1 goal between them, scored by Matthews, nobody else could score. Bunkus is wrong on the nobody else could score part for in terms of the Leafs. William Nylander stepped up, but very few others did. So I'm going to go to that, to the Habs, Leafs, 2021 playoff series. So, just going to see about what happened in the Leafs and what happened in that. Alright, so in the postseason, we have. Alright, I'm going to go. Oops. Just gonna go to. Oops. Oops, sorry that. Alright, so I'm gonna go to here. And you can see there. That, ladies and gents, is the scoring summary for that playoff series. So what I'm going to just do is going to get into here. Just going to put this down for a moment here. All right, so. Oops. So, let's see about secondary scoring during that playoff series. So, in terms of how many players end up averaging at least a point per game, only Nylander managed to do that, having scored 5 goals of his 8 points. Kerfoot came the next closest, having put up 6 points, one of them a goal, over 7 games. Third behind that, well, tied for third in terms of points, Jason Spezza, who would later retire from the Leafs, and also Matthews, with 5 points apiece. Spezza having scored 3 goals, Matthews just 1. Look at Alex Galchenyuk, who was picked up by the Leafs and is now playing with the Colorado Eagles of the American Hockey League. Maybe because his point production hasn't been great recently. And the Avs figured, well, put him in the minors. Let him improve there. Well, Galchenyuk with Marner ended up putting up 4 points. Galchenyuk having put up a goal. Marner having gone goalless in the postseason once again. Then we have Jake Muzzin and Morgan Rielly, the D-men, tied with 3 points. 2 goals scored by Muzzin, 1 by Rielly. And then it kind of drops off. I mean, including, but only limited to, Zach Hyman, a then future Oiler, having managed to score just 1 goal for his only point in that series over 7 games. Joe Thornton, aka Jumbo Joe, well, who was with the Leafs and then, well, kind of fizzled out in the postseason, having scored 1 goal and in 7 games. Alright. When it comes to forwards, we have Wayne Simmons put up an assist in 7 games for his only point. Pierre Engvall in 6 games put up an assist. Nick Foligno is a winger for now with the Bruins, but then with the Leafs in 4 games put up an assist for his only point of the Habs Leaf series. Then we have Ilya Mikheyev, who would, with the Lightning, put up 4 points, 2 of them goals in 7 games, but who went absolutely pointless in that series. Where was scoring from him? I mean, I can understand John Tavares because he was hurt. In the first period, halfway through, a collision at center ice, accidental, but yeah, knocked him out. And the Leafs had very few who stepped up when they needed to. And we'll see what happens this time. But the way things are going, I think the only question will be for the Leafs is whether they finish 2nd or 3rd in the Atlantic. And like I've heard all sorts of excuses, the playoff format should be changed. You know what? The problem with the Leafs is that they have played multiple opponents during the Matthews era. Played the Capitals, ended up losing in that series. 2017. 2018 postseason, the Leafs played the Bruins, losing in 7 games. 2019 against Bruins, 7-game loss. 2020 against the Blue Jackets, went the distance as well. So the Caps, Bruins, Jackets, Habs, and Lightning. And of those, Leafs have played the Bruins twice, the others once. For me, I don't think it's the playoff format that needs to be changed, but it's the mentality that these players for the Leafs have been using to approach the playoff series. They haven't shown they can execute when it has mattered. Far too often they haven't shown that they can execute. And I believe the pressure is going to be there for changes to be made to the front office should this Leafs team fail to win a playoff series in the spring. Let's face facts. The Leafs have the longest playoff series win drought in the entire NHL. And one of the longest among those sports leagues that are based in Canada or the contiguous US. At least those that are at the professional level, such as the NHL. That's an embarrassment. To not even have won a playoff series during the NHL's own salary cap era, at least the modern one, is embarrassing. Brendan Shanahan, who's been a dud of a president in terms of preparing the Leafs for playoff success, has managed to turn, with the help of GM Dubas, the Leafs into a good regular season team. But that's not enough. It's time for some playoff success. And let's face that. And what's also going to do is just to recap the when it comes to the Leafs and their. All right, where do we go here? Just so. When it comes to Leafs schedule. All right, I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna go with the Leafs' own website, which is probably MapleLeafs.com for the January schedule, and see how the Leafs have been doing. Well, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Leafs have won 3 games in a row. They've lost 2 games, one of them in a shootout. So the Leafs have earned points in 4 of the 5 games they've played in January. And in those 5 games, the Leafs have earned 7 points. So 1.4 points per game on average. But it's a very tough schedule. Leafs did manage to beat the Wings at home, but after having gone down 1-0 in the first period. But it's a tough schedule, though. The Leafs face the Bruins at TD Garden on Saturday, after playing the Wings. And then next week, Tuesday, against the Panthers. And Jets at home. Then it's back on the road to face the Habs. And then a homestand that encompasses the rest of January, during which the Leafs face the Isles, Rangers, Sens, and Capitals. Last time Caps and Leafs faced each other at Scotiabank Arena, the Leafs won by a single goal. Leafs have one more game to play one game to play in February before the All-Star break, and that is at home to the Bruins. So Leafs will have played, I believe, 3 games against the Bruins by the All-Star break. The only remaining game Leafs play against the Bruins will be, in April, during a rather busy week. That is the first full week of April. Taking into account that that I see the week as being on Sunday. That's the way it is in Canada. So yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so we have 1, 3, 3, so that's 7, 8. But yeah, alright, 1 or 2, 5, 8, 9. Yeah. Leafs have 10 games left before the All-Star break. How will Leafs do in them? We'll see. Because the Panthers, Jets, and Habs will be tough tests. Given how the Leafs have struggled to beat the Habs this season, they did so at the Bell Center. Thankfully, Leafs will not have to face the Habs at the Bell Center after the All-Star break. Because it'll be the 2 games, one in October and one in January. It'll be in February, it'll be Leafs face the Habs at home. That'll be after the All-Star break. And then, alright, let's see here. And then in April, on the 8th of that month, that's going to be very interesting, what Leafs end up doing. Leafs will only be playing intra-conference opponents in April. In March, Leafs will be playing some Western Conference opponents. The last one will be the Preds at Bridgestone Arena on the 26th of March. After having played the Western Canadian, the Alberta teams and Canucks by the end of the week of the 5th of March. Then the Avs. So yeah. In February, Leafs will play the Blackhawks twice, the Minnesota Wild once, and the Kraken once. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be playing Western teams 4 times. In 4 games in February 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in March. So 10 games against Western teams the rest of the season. That means the rest of them will be by Eastern teams. So that'll be after the All-Star break. But this month it'll be... They won't be playing any Western Canadian team before the All-Star break. However, well, the Jets. That's going to see for now. This video is already getting quite a bit long. So on that note, I'm going to say good afternoon and go Leafs go.